Okay, I don't understand why Norwegians are trained, apparently from school age, to translate their names to a more acceptable American counterpart. We're going to start with story time. I spent my entire life in America named Kari, being called Carrie, and having to spend my whole life being like, no, it's not Carrie, it's Kari. The difference is important to me because Kari is a very, very common Norwegian name. If you're not familiar with Norwegian culture, then the way I like to describe this is that Kari it's the Jane Doe of Norway. It's what they name unidentified bodies, Kari Norwegian, Kari Nordmann. It's what they put on like credit cards for like a sample name. Kari is I don't actually meet a lot of Karis, but it's kind of like Jane or Sally. Like it's just a standard name that is like very representative of that culture. So when I tell you that one of the biggest things I was excited about when we immigrated here is that I was like, I finally won't have to tell everybody, no, not Carrie, Kari. My brothers and sisters of Norway. So many Norwegians try to call me Carrie and think that I'm converting my name to Kari to fit in here. And for a long time, I was like, okay, this is frustrating, but whatever. They're just being super polite Norwegians, right? Then my daughter came home from school one day and started saying how they've been going around the class explaining what their names would be in English. So if a kid's name was Mari, they would tell her, oh, your name would be Mary. Or if there was a Julia, it would be Julia. Somebody with Solveig, they were like, it's Sunny. But I just think it kind of strikes me in a way that Norway is trying too hard to be acceptable to English speakers, because I do understand this is very common in America where Asian American kids will do this. And I suppose I understand that. But when your name is Mari, and like I think every English speaker understands that there are certain names like Catherine, Mary, Elizabeth, you don't need to say it's Elizabeth. You can just say Elisabeth. Like, I think people understand that like those are names you find in Spanish and German and French, like variations. I think it's a bit odd to translate them. And I even have this friend here who has a number of people they know named like Kristin. And they're always, if they're speaking English, they'll tell me the name is Kirsten. But the name is Kristin. And it confuses me. I never know it's the same person. I'm like, is it Kirsten or Kristin? But then I realize it's the same person. Because you don't need to translate Kristin. We have the word Kristen. Like Kirsten is a less common name in English. And if we were going to say Kirsten, I would say that that's an Anglicization of the Norwegian Kirsten. It's like, I think this gets out of control a bit, you guys. So after all this time, I realized that's what's happening when people assume that I should be called Carrie in Norway, leading to one of the greatest frustrations of my life, is that people are trying to do this thing that Norwegians do of translating my name. So I hate it now because I feel like you all think my name is just Carrie, and I just don't really. It's not a name I love. My name is Kari. And it's not Carrie that I translated to Kari. It's just Kari. I don't think that's that hard. Like, just say Kari. Why are we translating names that are, like, basically fine? Like, Americans aren't that stupid. We'd know what you meant if you said Mari or Elizabeth or Katarina. We would know. You don't need to say Mary, Elizabeth, Catherine. We get it. We do get it. Why? I think this is a bit silly. I think we need to stop this.